start presenting.
Okay.
So the background noise is there, Krishnakant.
Sir.
So the background noise is there. Kindly reduce those background noise. Yes, the recording has been started, so you can start the session. So in case of any queries, you can ask your queries. So remaining students, if you are having any queries, you can ask your queries. Krishnakant, if you are willing to ask the question, you can ask the questions also. That will be fine. So make this as an interactive session, and you can start now, Krishnakant. Are you there now? Yes.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible. You can start now.
My screen. Okay. Hello, everyone. Um, Today, I'm going to present you about sorting techniques and selection sorting. Now, this is a few transitions I did to explain the selection sorting technique. So let's see this sorting algorithms. We will see first of all what is a sorting algorithm. Sorting algorithms are nothing but methods of organizing something, like a number or item or alphabets or anything from highest to lowest or lowest to highest or even in any order that we specify. And what this algorithm do is they do three things. First of all, they take an input list, and second of all, what they do is they process it, and finally they sort the list. The three things are: first they take an input list and process it, like perform some operations like swapping or assigning a value like that, and they produce a sorted list. These three things that is common for every algorithm that we are going to use. And the most common example that we use in everyday life is sorting clothes, or when you visit an e-commerce website. If you have visited an e-commerce website like Amazon or Flipkart, you can see on the left side the prices list are arranged in such a way, like a highest to lowest price, 1,000, 10,000, 5,000, like that, and lowest to highest. In these websites, they use some sorting algorithms to sort the prices and the items that we are going to buy, and or by lowest to highest, or by list by popularity. Like if there is anything popular we want to buy, it will be ordered in such a way. And types of sorting algorithms. Wait a minute. Display. Sorry, sir.
No problem. Take your time.
This player is not. And the types of sorting algorithms that we have learned so far. Sorry. Okay, these are the sorting algorithms that we have learned: bubble sort, insertion sort, selection sort, merge sort, and quick sort. Now I am going to present about selection sort. In Python programming, there are selection sorting in C and other languages also, but we are going to do this in Python. Selection sorting is a simple sorting technique. The idea behind this is we divide the given array into two parts, that is sorted and unsorted. For example, if you give a wait a minute. What we do here is we give some input list to the algorithm. Like any input we want, maybe the length is 5 or 6, anything we want. What it does is it divides the array into two parts, sorted and unsorted part. The left part we can classify it in any way. The left part is a sorted subarray and the right part is unsorted subarray. Initially, what the sorted subarray is always empty, and the unsorted subarray is that the list we have given. The unsorted subarray takes the list that we have startingly given, and the started subarray is always empty. After dividing the list into array, like after the dividing the list that we give into two parts, the unsorted subarray is empty. What it does is it compares the minimum element. It identifies the minimum element in the unsorted subarray, and it will swap it with the leftmost element of the unsorted subarray. And the leftmost element of the unsorted subarray will be swapping with the rightmost element of the sorted subarray. So, and this process continues for iterations. Like if you give 5 elements, it will take 4 iterations. If you give 6 elements, it will take 5 iterations. After the process is complete, it will produce a desired result. We will see how this works in the next transition also. Like the steps we are going to perform in this is first it will search for the minimum element in the unsorted subarray, of course. After identifying it, it will swap the least element, the element with the least value, to the leftmost part of the unsorted subarray. After swapping it with the leftmost part of the unsorted subarray, there is also a sorted subarray that we have, and it will change the bracket, like length of the, it will in the leftmost part of the sorted subarray, it will take that element into rightmost part of the sorted subarray. We'll also see that. Like now, this is how the process works. 3 steps we are going to do this using this swapping technique. Bring it to the starting position and change your counter. The counter I will show you. Let's see here. This is an example. Here 64, 25, 12, 22, and 11 are there. So this is the array that we have given to the sorting technique, sorting algorithm. What it does is it will divide the array into two parts. Here, see here, the sorted subarray and the unsorted subarray. Initially, the sorted subarray is always empty, and the unsorted subarray is the array that we have given to the algorithm at the start. Now it searches for the minimum element, selecting. First step is selecting 64, and it compares with the next element 25. 25 is minimum, so it will change the minimum element to 25. Now again it will compare 25 and 12. It will change the minimum element to 12. And again it compares 12 and 22. It changes the minimum element to 12 because 22 is greater than 12. And again it goes to the last element. Here 11 is the minimum element after comparing with 22 and 11. Now after identifying the least element with the least value, it will swap the position. Now that is how the swapping works. Now here after sorting, we have swapped this to the leftmost part of the, like here, this is the leftmost part of the unsorted subarray. Now this is the counter. The dotted lines you have seen that is the counter. And what it does is the counter changes to 1. Just look at this. See, right, you have seen that. Now there are only 4 elements in the unsorted subarray and 1 element in sorted subarray. This process continues like this for we have given five elements. So for 5 elements, it takes 4 iterations. By again identifying the minimum element. Selection. This is process is selection. Now it swaps again, and after the swapping, it changes the counter. That is the length of the sorted and unsorted subarray. Again identifying the minimum element. Now that is the last element. We don't have to compare it with any other element. It will sort it by itself. Changes the counter. Now, if you have any doubts, now we are going with the lines of code. If you have any doubts in the concept, please ask me. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
Do you have any doubts, or should I continue with the coding?
You can give it in your chat box. Kindly reply for your student, your classmate. You can give the
Continue with
reply in
the
the chat
code.
box also.
Okay. Then I will continue with the coding. Okay, this is online coding, like online compiler. We are going to do the coding here. First of all, we have to wait a minute. First of all, we have to define a function. Like, let's define a function. Selection, we name it the function of selection sort. And we'll give the input element, the argument L, and close it. Now, we create a variable for length of the list, because every time we can't use the length of the list function, so we'll create a variable for that. Length of the list is equal to length of L. Now, after creating variable, now for each element we have to write some conditions for each element. Let's take I. For I in range, we have to define the range also. Range of here we are not taking the length of list, because we can't call this function for so many times. It will produce an error. So that's why I have created a variable for that. Length L and -1, because we don't have to compare the last element. For example, if this is a list 4 comma, this is not visible. I will show that with example. Right. Now for here I is the first element of the list we have given, and it corresponds to all the elements. Now for the first element, if we have to compare, we have to identify the first element as the minimum element, then comparing with the second element. So we give minimum index is equal to I. Now we have to compare the next element. Let us take the next element as a j, I comma j. For j in range, sorry, I plus 1. Here we have taken I, we have comparing with I, so we have to compare the next element. So I plus 1 comma length of the length of the list, and we have to compare the last element with the preceding element also. Here we have taken only length of list -1. Here we have to take the whole and entire list. Okay, then that is swapping condition. If the list jth position of the list is less than minimum index, L of minimum, the first element we have identified as minimum index. So the jth position of the list is less than minimum index. and we have to swap it. So here I am writing a swapping technique that is a temporary variable. I have taken a temporary variable, and to that temporary variable I have given the value of list of jth position, and now I'm going to change the list of jth position to here if we identify if L of least position of jth position is less than minimum index, then here is the swapping. We are going to change it as L of I. Uh, Now after changing L of j to L of I, we have to give a new value to L of j. Here, sorry, L of I, and that is a temp variable because we have stored it in the L of j value in the temporary variable. Here, what is that? What it does is uh, length of sorry, L of j. It changes L of j to L of I. So for this, we are writing the code. Let's come here. Now that is it. The swapping technique is done. Now outside of the for loop, I'm outside of this for loop. The second for loop, I'm going to write a printing statement to see what happens at the end of each statement. At the end of iteration, sorry. Now here I'm going to write I plus 1 because the first value of I is 0. So if you want to show it as a first iteration, you have to write 0 plus 1, that is 1. So like that. And to the L, that is last element of the list. We have to print the list also. At the end of this for loop, what happens, we are going to see it in this. Now coming to, now here outside of this for loop, we are going to call that function again to return what we have done, the final value of the function. Return L. For here, we haven't defined outside of the function. Here we haven't given anything to the list L. So here we are going to define the function. We can do it if we can give it our own list, or we can make the user give the list. So I'm going to make the user to give the list. For this, we have to write. We have to create an empty list first of all. Here we have defined the list as L. So we create an empty list for L. L is equal to an empty flower bracket, an empty list. And for this empty list, we take a variable n, specifying for the user to enter some input. We are calling integer, and in integer we have to put input, because if you don't specify this as integer, it will take it as an alphabet, like a string variable. Input, and here we have to make the user to enter the list. Enter the number of elements. I'm sorry, that's it. Now after doing this, we have to specify the range of the list also. We have to create an empty list for the user. So here we are going to use append function. Before that, we have to create a for loop to specify the range of n 0, n. And we are giving another variable, that is element, for the user to enter the elements that he wants. Integer, again we have to specify it as integer. Input, and this should be empty. because at the start it should be ended. Now we are going to call an append function. Append element. We are going to add the elements to the list. That is what this function is. Add element to the list. Now we don't have to print the list here. There is one last thing that we have to do. Print. Sorry, the print should be small. The unsorted list is L, and wait a minute. And the sorted list also you have to print. The sorted list is we are going to call the selection sort function. Selection sort of L. Okay, that is the end of the code. Now we run the code. Wait the line 9. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry. Here I didn't put equal to. Now run the code. It asking us to enter the elements. Let's give us first of all 3 elements. Now the first element is 7. Okay, this looks like I have sorted the list. Let's give it for 84. Next, we'll give it 6. Okay. Here you see this. Unsorted list, it have printed 7, 84, 6. At the end of iteration 1, what happens at the end of iteration? It has printed here. And at the end of iteration 2, it has printed here. Wait a minute. Yeah, like that. And the final sorted list is 6, 7, 84. We can run it again by giving more elements. Let us give it 5 elements. And let's give it 84, 6, 98, 101, and 74. Okay. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Wait, we have given the same element again. 5 elements. 74, 84, 98. It looks like I have sorted the 6th. 3, 4, 5. Let's see here. If you give 5 elements, it takes 4 iterations. If you give 6 elements, it takes 5 iterations like that. N-1 iterations it will take for the list you have given, if the order is n. The unsorted list is the unsorted list in order 74, 84, 98, 44, 66. Here that is in order. And at the end of iteration 1, the list is like this. At the end of iteration 2, the list is like this. At the end of iteration 3, here the list. At the end of iteration 4, the list is like this. Here the list element is 44. After identifying it at iteration 1, it swaps to the list leftmost position. And after 44, there are 74, 84, 98, and 66. The next list element is 66. Here the swapping. And the next list element is in the third, 74. Next swapping. And the next list element is 84. And the final, the biggest element is 98. So after sorting, it becomes like this. So that is the end of my coding.
Thank you, Prashant.
Yes, sir.
So you have using the temporary variable for swapping. So this is the first time I'm taking this. I hope so.
Yes,
so those yes, you have taken this code by using the temporary variable. And
yes,
before that, I just swap the numbers. Whatever I have given you a swapping technique, I just swap the numbers. So temporary variable, if you are comfortable with the temporary variable, then you can go with the temporary variable. When you are going with temporary variable, what will happen? The lines of code will be increased. So that's why that's the thing I have directly swapped those things. Any doubts as of
Yes,
now from this lines
directly
of code?
swapping is difficult for me.
So some, if you are having a large element, then it will be difficult.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Any
That
doubts as of now?
directly swapping is difficult for me, so I have to practice it.
Okay, you can just do that. So that will be useful when you are doing more number of lines of code. That will be useful.
All right, I will do that, sir.
Yes, sure. Thank you for this presentation. So any doubts as of now? 65 are there. Any doubts? Any doubts or clarification? So no doubts. So thank you, Krishnakant, for this. And Sivakarthik, are you ready now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can share your screen, Sivakarthik.
Okay, sir.
Sivakarthik,
Sir.
you just wait. Richard, are you ready now?
Yes, sir. I'm ready, sir.
Richard, you share your screen first.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Wait a minute, sir. Sir, shall I start, sir?
Yes, yes. And share your screen and start this.
Sir, first of all, I explained the bubble shot, sir, and then I'll share my.
Okay, fine. Yes.
So, good morning, everybody. I'm going to explain bubble shot. Okay. First of all, uh, uh, let me know what is bubble shot. Bubble shot is a simple sorting algorithm. It compares the adjacent element and swap them if they are in the wrong order. If they are in the wrong order means it will swap. If they are in correct order means it will move to the next element. Okay. This pass through the list is repeated until the list is sorted. Okay. Okay. Let me share the. So first of all, we need to know that why we need to understand why we need to learn this concept. This uh, what are the fields? What are the fields? Are using this algorithms to sorting the elements. This algorithm is used to sorting the elements. Okay. Why we are using this and where we are using this? Let me assume that. Okay. Let me assume you are a electronic shop owner. You have bunch of wires on that on your shop. Okay. How can you sort? How can you take a list on that in an ascending order? How can you take a list on that? So first of all, we see we take a 16 meter of red wire. We have 16 meter of red wire and 17 meter of black wire and 5 meter of blue wire and 3 meters of uh, 3 meters of yellow wire and last 6 meter of green wire. So how can you arrange this element in an ascending order? First of all, we arrange this element in 6. The correct sorted element is 3, 5, 6 and 16 and 17. This is the correct order element. In these fields, we will use we can use bubble sort to sort this element. Okay. Not only I'm just saying this as an example for for more number of quantities which you have means this algorithm will help you to sort these things. Okay. Okay. We will move to the. Wait a second, sir. I will share my screen. Sir, is that visible?
Yes, little more zoomer. Yes, fine, 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 fine.
Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. First we will take a array. Um, that is, we will take some elements to start the program. Okay. I'll take 16, 17, 5, 3, then 6. Okay. This is our list. First of all, I am creating a list 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, how many number of elements we have? We have 5 number of elements. Okay, n is equal to 5. So, the bubble chart is starting with the first element. It will start with the first element and it will compare the next element. If it is great, if it is a greater element, if it is a great element, no swapping would be done. If it is a smallest element, swapping will be done. Okay. Let we compare 16 and 17. 17 is a greater element, so it will move to the second element. Okay, it will move to the next element. Okay, what is the array? 17, 5, 3, 6, and we will move to the next element. So 17 and 5. If we compare that, this will be greater. This is a smaller number. 5 is not a greater element. So we will swapping will be done. Okay. 16, 5, 17, 3, and 6. Okay. And then it will move to the next element. 17, 3, which is the greater element. 17 is a great element, 3 is not a greater element, then it will swap. 16, 5, 17, so sorry, 3, 17, 6, and then it will move to the next. 16, 5, 3, 6, 17. Okay. What is happening here is it will compare the adjacent element, and it will if it is not if the condition is not true means it will swap. What Here what is happening is it is if the this condition is not true, so it is bubbled up to the correct position. So 17 is the largest element in this array, in this list. So it is bubbled. It is bubbled up the largest element in its correct position. It now it is in the correct position, but the except 17, the other element is not in the correct position. Then it will move to the second pass. This we can take it this part as a pass 1. Pass 1, this is a pass 1. We can take now we will move to the another pass. Automatically it will start from the first element. It will move on to the first element, and with and it will comparing those element to swapping this element. Okay. We will move to the next element. Okay. We will start from the first 16, 5, 3, 6, 17, and it will compare the next element. The condition is not true, then it will swapped. Then it will get swapped. 17. Okay, it will compare the next element. The condition is not true, so it will get swapped. 5, 3, 16, 6, 17. And it will move to the next element. Then it will get the condition is not true, then it will get swapped. 5, 3, 6, 16, 17. So the last it will sort sort the two elements. Okay, we can take this part as pass 2, and then we will move to the third pass. What is it? 5, 3, 6, 16, 17. Again, it will compare the first element and the second element. If we compare means the condition is true. Here the condition is true. Then it will move to the next element. 5, 3, 6, 16, 17. It will compare means. Sorry.
The
Here
3 will be, yes.
3 will be 3 is condition is false, so 5 will be here. Okay. The 5, 6. This is a greater element, so it will move to the next step. 3, 5, 6, 16, 17. So here you can see the list is sorted. The list is coming in the correct position. Okay. This is how the program. This is how the bubble chart will be happen. All we need to know is it will start from the first element and it will compare the second element. If the second element is greater means it will not swap. If the second element is smaller than this element means it will get swapped. That's all, sir.
Yes, thank you, Richard. And one more thing, the last step what you have done, that 5 and 6, the 3, 5 and 6. Richard,
Sir?
last step you have done, right? 3, 5 and 6.
Yes, sir.
So again, it will be checking that whether 3 is less than or equal to less than 5 or 5, greater
Yes,
than
sir.
5
The checking will be happen, but we
happen,
have
but this
but
when you
this,
are writing the code, the checking will not be necessary because already that was a sorted list. So checking
yes,
will not be necessary.
sir. The number of elements is 5, sir. Then with how many passes it will go means it will go n minus 1, sir.
Yes, 4
By
passes it will go.
yes. Yeah,
Yes.
four passes will be there.
Yes.
Now we
Yes.
will get shorted elements. No, that's why I'm stopping here.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Richard, for this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So any queries over there in bubble chart? So 68 were
No,
there.
sir.
Any query?
No, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Then Shiva, can you present your screen, Shiva?
Okay, sir. I am opening Jamboards. I will.
Share your screen first. Are you using in a system or mobile? System only, no? The present now option will be there.
System, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. The screen is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You can start now.
Oh, okay, sir. Hi friends, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You can take now.
Yes, sir. Today I am going to discuss about quicksort in sorting, one of the sorting methodology. For quicksort, we want to follow it sorted the list. So for quicksort, we want to follow mainly these three steps. Left is less than or equal to right, and a of left is less than. First, we are assuming that pivot value in a list. We can assume pivot value either first or last element or in middle also. By assuming pivot value, we can doing sorting methodology here. So if we assume any pivot value for these three steps, we want to must follow. First, we want to follow left is, that means left index of value is less than right index value, and a left value of is less than pivot value. If we are using pivot value any number, that number must be less than of the left index value number, and right index value number is greater than or equal to pivot value. Right index value is greater than pivot value, then it will be functioning. So now I am going with list as assigning. First we are creating a list. So we are created a list. We can assume any numbers, but I am going with simple explanation. First, we will consider about 42 as my pivot value. So we are assuming 42 as my pivot value. First, we are assuming index value 0, 1, 2, and 3. Then we are checking the first condition, left is less than or equal to right. That means first we want to ask for, if we assuming right as first element as my pivot value, this is our left and this is our right element. So first we want to follow this step. Left is less than or equal to right. That means index value of left value is less than or equal to right. Then we want to follow second step. So here 11th index value is 1. It is less than or equal to right element 3. So if it is true, then it goes to the second step. That means a left of is less than or equal to pivot. So my left value is 11. So 11 is less than or equal to 42. Then condition will be true. That means if this condition will become true, then it goes, then left value moves one step forward. Then 53 as my left value, and right will be the same. It won't change. Up to left, this statement is false, then it will goes to the right statement. Now 53 as my number left value, so 53 is less than or equal to 42. That means this step will become false. Before that, we will also checking that index value, that 2 is less than or equal to 3. First, we must check this statement. Then we will go to the taking the left value. So this step will become false. Then it goes to the third step. So my right value is now 62. So 62 is greater than or equal to 42. So this step will become true. Then it will move to the one step backward. So now this will be my right value. So now we are checking first condition. 2 is less than or equal to 2. So my condition will false. Then it will goes to this statement already we are false. So then this statement will occur. That means my right value 62, 53 is greater than or equal to
Shiva, 1
42.
minute. Shiva, 1 minute. 2
Sir,
is less than or equal to 2. The condition will be true. Again, the right value will be moved one step forward.
yes, sir.
You have done here 2 less than or equal to 2. You have stopped that the condition is false. In the third step, third condition checking. 2 less than or equal to 2.
Sir, now I'm checking this 53 is
Okay, fine.
53 is greater than or equal to 42. Then this statement also will become true. Then right value will change one step backward. So now my right value is will become this R. Now we are checking index value. That means left is less than or equal to right. Now 1 is less than or equal to 2. So if first statement will false, then in this methodology, then we want to change pivot value to the, if you consider first as my pivot value, then first statement will false. Then we want to swap the pivot value and the last element. That means this last right element we want to swap. So for we are swapping now. If this we want to change my pivot value and the last right element of the list. So now minus and 42. Now the list has been sorted by this methodology. So 42 is my pivot value. Then again it will goes to the further. I will explain. Then again it will take the left part and the right part. Then the methodology will go in continuously up to the it will get single element. So the left side one element single element lava is there. Then 42 will be there as my pivot value. Then it will take the right two elements 53 and 62. Then we will continue this as my pivot value 53, and same methodology will continue up to sorting. So this already it is sorted. So again it won't take. So it will be in sorted list. So next part, then also it will take to the single element up to the single element. That means 53 and 62. Then it will for taking the first element, then regression process will occur like this. So this will happen in this methodology. Now I am going with lines of code for this. If you have any doubts in methodology about that explanation, you can ask me now. Otherwise, I will go with lines of code. Guys, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible now. So, were there any doubts over there?
No, sir.
No. For this method of yes.
Now I am using Python compiler for doing the lines of code.
Shiva, 1 minute. Are you going to type the code or are you having the typed code?
Sir, I have, sir, but I want to copy yours, sir.
Yes, you can copy those code and explain those things.
Oh, okay, sir.
Yes.
Sir, 1 minute, sir. I will present again, sir.
Yes. So for AIDS, what is the next hour for you? A and DS. What is the next hour?
Technical English, sir.
Technical English. CSBS.
Max, sir.
You having a sir? What is your staff name?
Kunashekar, sir.
Okay, fine. Sure, make it faster.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. నేను ఫస్ట్ ప్రజెంట్ చేసిన
Technical English is at 11, sir.
11:40, 20 గంటలు అట్లా చెప్తారా?
Yes, sir. Now I am present. Sir, screen is visible, sir.
No, the screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Now I am going with quickshot methodology programming. It won't copying. Wait, sir. I will.
In the present option, you just give entire screen, and where you have the code has been copied, you just go to the code and explain that. And for the next class, I have got the permission for another 15 minutes. So kindly stay back after this presentation. You can join the class after 10:15 for the next class.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wow, sir.
Yes.
Now I am explaining about first as my pivot value. So I will taking the methodology also my first as my pivot value. First we want to, in this data structure, first we want to create an class and object first. So for that I am creating a list, and we are assigning a length of the list as a n. So that means this length, list one of the length. So we are doing quicksort. So first we are declaring three variables here, list one from 0, that means first index, up to the process will continue n-1. That means if you are 6 elements are there, this process will continue up to 5. It will take the 5-1. That means if we are taking first as my pivot value, then it will take n- iterations. Then it will print the list one. We are not that means sorting list one will be created at last. Before that, quicksort is we are defining as, here is my main program, def quicksort. So in that we are calling as pivot value. So it will goes to the pivot value. I will explain with for the first line from the first lines of code. First we are defining pivot values. We are calling three default arguments, that means list one, first and last. If you are assuming pivot value as your first, then we are calling first as my pivot value. If you are calling first as my pivot value, then left element, that means if you are calling this as my pivot value, then this will be our right, this will be our left. That means 0 from the first, it will be first index. So we are assuming first plus 1 there. So for left value, it will takes the first plus 1. That means if we are assuming the first as my pivot value, the next element it will take. So we are declaring plus 1. So for right element, the last element will be taken. Then we want to checking the, I told three main conditions. Though here this will be happen while left is less than or equal to right. That means first statement, if this will be true, then it will take the list one of the left. That means this, it will compares with the pivot value. It will be compares with the pivot value. Then that process will occur if this statement will true. That means left plus 1. Again, up to false statement, this will happen. Then it will also checks the right element. If the statement will false, left is less than or equal to right. That means left index value is less than or equal to right. Then it will goes to the right of element. Then it will compares the right and pivot value and up to the false element. That means we are doing a recursive iterations. So right is we are one step forward here. That means we are from right, we are one step backward if the statement will become true up to the false statement. We are here, we are declaring the main statement. That means if first statement right is less than or equal to true, if this statement will become false, then these all statements will become for this break. It will goes to the this step. So we are breaking these all statement, then it will goes to the this step. That means 14th line it will take. If we else statement is break, that means right is less than or equal to true, or else it will goes to the swap. That means left, if both statement will become false, then it will be happen. Then if any of the left and right value will be in order, yes sir. If this statement will become true, then it will break. If this statement will false, then else part will occur. That means list one of left or list one of right, or list one of right. That means list one of left. It will swaps to the left and right element. That means if right element and the left element is it fall, that means if this statement will false, then it changes this left and right value of the list. I will explain in this program. Yeah, if this statement will true, that means it will goes to the one step forward continuously. When this statement will false, then it will swap two elements. That means these two elements are, so that will be occur in that lines of code. And we are returning right. That means if we are consider first as our pivot value, then we are swap to the last right element of the list. So we are return is the right. Then comes to the main program. Def quicksort list one first lot. We are created the three default elements, right? If first is less than last, then it will goes to the pivot value. Here we want create as pivot value, because it if we give pivot as, then it will won't happen. That means we won't get correct answer. So we indirectly calling this pivot in this step. So it will takes the p is equal to pivot plus list one first and last, then quick sort list one first p minus 1. What it is, if you consider first as my pivot value, then it will, when sorting 11, 42, 53 and 62, this will come. First we are assuming 42 as my pivot value. After sorting, this will come. Here you see list one first p minus 1. That means this will occur. That means if we are after sorting, if we are considering first as my pivot value, after sorting, first is the and it is shifting. This is our left's value, this is our right values. That means p minus 1 means if we are considering pivot value, up to the before the pivot value, it will takes the another list, and after the pivot list, it will takes to the another list after sorting. That is happening there. And if we are considering last as my pivot, so if we are considering first, so after that after pivot value,
Hello.
right will be taken, that will be happening there. And we are calling, now we are quicksort, we are sorting this method. By running this program, we will get sorting elements.
So
Likewise,
one
if
thing,
you want
Sivakarthik,
to
that in the
consider left
Sivakarthik,
as my
one thing.
pivot, sir.
So Sivakarthik, just scroll down for the last yes. The define quick shot list one comma first comma last is there, right? And after that you are checking the condition, and after that three statement will be your regressive function. You just mentioned
Yes,
that.
sir.
That's
This
enough.
while true will be recursive.
Yes, that no. Here P is equal to pivot place of list one first and last, and
Yes, sir.
quick shot is equal to quick shot of that's three function will be your regressive function. When you are explaining that, you just mentioned that that is a regressive function. That's enough. Yes, that's three line. That is a
Okay.
regressive function. Yes, that means that same process will be happened again and again for the first and last value. It will be happen again and again. That is the process.
Yes, yes. If we are
Yes.
considering last as my pivot value, then simple changes in this program. So we are assuming last as my pivot value, then this will change. It will take the first and it will take last minus one. And we are swapping the last left element in the list for last element. If you are considering here, we are considering last as my pivot value. Then we want to give last here. So we want to swap the left. So here we are declaring left. So it's swapping methodology done here. Left. So if you are considering last as my pivot value, then swapping methodology also. So then we can do this in two methodologies, first and last as pivot values. So this will be happen in this sorting methodology. If you have any doubts, you can ask.
So have you clear about the concept? What is happening? There is two, not is a two methodology at this. One is left when you are taking the first element and last element, and you can take the middle random element also, and you can take the middle element. And a random element and middle element I have not explained you, so that will be in your module case. So that I have not explained for getting the random element and the middle element. So as of now, for your understanding point of view, you can just take the first element and last element for swapping. When you are going to study the upcoming languages, then you can able to understand that. So any doubt as of now for this concept? They won't ask. 69 were there. They won't ask. Yes, thank you, Sivakarthik, for this. So I hope so
Okay.
all were understand. All were understand. Thank you for this. And